Hello, my name is Tayfun, and in this lecture we will try to change our MAC address on the Kali machine. So let's open up a terminal here with this Control Alt Tab shortcut here. And after that, actually we opened twice, right? No. Yes. So after that, we need to change the MAC address. So to change the MAC address, you will need to install the NetTools package, but in most Linux distributions this tool is already available. However, if it's not installed, you can install it using this command here, sudo apt-get update here. Enter your password here. It will take just 5 or 10 seconds. After that, just install the apt-get install NetTools here. As you can see here, it's already installed. As I said, it comes pre-installed in most Linux distributions. However, you can check that or install that with this commands here. So it will prompt for your password when you install something with sudo. You enter your password, and once the tools have been installed, you can view the MAC address with ifconfig command. So here, if this command is not working, you can also use the sudo ifconfig. It will mostly work here without a problem. And here, if everything goes well, you will see this output similar to this, right? So there's a lot of information here, so let's break it down one by one. And I need to open the Gromit here so I can draw something on the screen, though it will be more explanatory here, right? And yes, apply home. I think this, yeah, we can write like that. Home. Yes, sorry for that. We're gonna fix that here. So as I said, there's a lot of information here, and you will learn what these information means. So there are two values called eth0 and low here. So these are the two separate adapters. So the eth0 is the NIC, right? So whereas a LU here is the loopback adapter. For now, we can ignore the loopback adapter, and let's go with the inet field here. So the inet field, this is the first inet field, represents the private local IP address of the Kali machine. So, and the inet6 here obviously is the IP version 6 address of the Kali machine. And here our information is here, right? That we're gonna use in this lecture. The ether is the MAC address. And this is the field we want to change. And as you can see here, our MAC address is 000C29 97 05 and 57. So we will change this MAC address here. So for now, we will go to, actually let me write, okay, delete that. So oops, there's something again, so the ifconfig. So if you want to change the MAC address, you can't do so while our NIC is turned on. So first, you have to shut down the network interface. And to shut down the interface, you can use this sudo if, actually let me clear that firstly. So sudo ifconfig eth0 down. That's it. So this command will shut down the NIC named eth0, as you can see. And as you can see here, we have the tab here which says the network connection has been disconnected. So we are disconnected and we turned our NIC down. So here, oh sorry, yes. So here, if you don't see an error while writing this command, this means that the command ran successfully. So now if you type the ifconfig here, ifconfig again, you will see this output here. So now this command here, as you can see here, we got nothing here. Not nothing. We are just seeing the loopback and not eth0 here. So this is the output we got here. Now you will only see the loopback adapter, and that the eth0 is turned down. So to change the MAC address, you can run a command here, this sudo if config eth0 hw ether here, and let's change our MAC address to 112233 AA BB CC here, and press enter. Oops, we got here, and as you can see, we got an error here because we need to use double dots and not this character with commas here. So we will do that here. That's it. Cannot assign the requested address here. Let's see what's wrong with that. 334455 here, and 00 cannot assign requested address. So what we are doing wrong here is on MAC addresses, the first byte should be even. So here now we will change it to, for example, the first byte to 00, because in bytes, in decimal points, it's actually even. Here we are actually writing hexadecimal here. And as you can see here, we got no error here. So remember that when you're writing for a MAC address, your first byte should always be even. So if there's a no error like this means the command runs successfully. So at this point, we can turn on the interface again by running sudo if config. Sudo if config. Actually, let me clear that. Clear sudo if config eth0 up. And now let's run the if config command again to see if our changes on MAC address took place. So sudo if config. And as you can see here, that the MAC address of ours has been changed successfully. Now, if you want to scan something on a network, this MAC address will be shown instead of a real MAC address. So now, in next lecture, we will also create a Python script to change this MAC address automatically. So I'm waiting you next lecture. Hello, my name is Tayfun. In previous lectures, we have written manual commands to change our MAC. Ideally, we would like to write a Python script that will help us to change it. To do this, we need to find a way to run bash commands with the help of a Python. Luckily, Python has a standard library that is uses to run system commands called swap process. So this library allows you to interact with the underlying operating system. So to import this library into your module, you can simply write this command import sub process. That's it. So to run a command, the sub process has a method called run, and using this method you can execute system commands on your operating system. So if you want to see the information about eth0, you can run this command here, this code here. So sub process run. We're gonna, after that, inside the parentheses, we're gonna enter this curly braces here, and we will enter the if config, and after that we will enter the eth0 here. And after that we're gonna use this comma, and we will write shell equals true. That's it. And so let's run it. And as you can see here, we got the same output if it would written in this our terminal. So this function requires a list of commands. The other parameter, the shell true, means that we want to see the output printed to the console, and that's what it did here. So if you run this code, you will see and an output similar to running the ifconfig eth0 command. And also keep in mind that you need to be a root user to run the command, so it should like, for example, so we need to go to PyCharm projects of our here and run this Python script. So cd, oh, let's actually clear firstly, cd PyCharm projects here, and ls here. As you can see here, we are seeing our main.py here, and let's firstly see what is inside in our main.py. And here, this is the code that's written in our main.py here. Now we're gonna run this. So Python, of course, we need to, as I said, we need to use the sudo python 3 main.py, and that's it. As you can see here, we got the same output as we did in the previous ifconfig command without the Python here. So now that you know how to run system commands using Python, you can repeat preceding commands using Python. So now we're gonna firstly import the sub process. So of course we need to create a name, if name here. Actually, you learned what this name means, name main means in previous lectures. So if name main here, double underscore, and after that we will need to use this double dots here. So interface is gonna be eth0 and our new Mac. So new Mac, you can also ask from the user to enter a new Mac, but you can also written in Python code. So it depends on your needs, but in this case I don't need to get an input from the user because I will write this program. So in this case, for example, 00 111 11 22 33 55 and 11 here. Or for example, instead of writing these numbers, we can also do this here. So after that, we will print here that, as you remember, we firstly needed to shut down the interface in order to change the MAC address. And now what we're gonna do is notify the user that we are shutting down the here. Of course, we need to use the formats here. Format shutting down the eth the interface dot uppercase. So we will notify that to the user that we are shut. Actually, let me write it down and then explain. So you're shutting down the interface here and interface that upper here. So we will notify to the user that, oops, did we close the grommet here because I can't reach it? So next, toggle clear screen. Okay. So here we are seeing to the user that write the interface on the screen. So if our interface is eth0, we will print the shutting down the interface eth0 here, right? So this is how it will work. This is just a good practice to notify the user about what are we shutting down here. After that, we're gonna use the sub process that run. Of course, as we notify the user that we are shutting down the interface, we need to shut down the interface. So after that, we will enter the curly braces here. If config here, of course, we will need to write in a string. If config here, and after that, we will again enter eth0. Or instead of writing eth0, we can also enter the interface, so it will be more practical. So if we need to change the eth0 to, for example, wireless adapter, we will just need to change this WLAN 0, and it will affect all of the program here, right? So eth0 interface, and after that we're gonna enter down. That's it. So let me actually see if my voice is written. Yes, perfect. And after that, what we're gonna do is we are print, actually, yeah, we don't need that. So we're gonna print like, let's write let's changing your or changing interface or changing the, let's actually use the format so that we will notify that changing our interface. So we will interface is interface MAC address interface to make it uppercase, to make it like shown up to the user. So changing interface MAC address to actually MAC address to here. We will write our MAC address, and after that we will use our new MAC here. That's it. And after that we're gonna change. So since we shut down the interface, we need to change interface as we did in previous lecture. So now we're gonna do is subprocess.run, and here we will enter the braces again here, and now if config, so if config here again, we will enter the interface, and after that we will enter the HW, after that ether, and after that the new MAC. That's it. And after that we will again run subprocess.run. So we will bring it back, we will make it so turn on the internet interface. So run here if config, and then we will enter the interface, and after that we will enter the up. That's it. So now after that, if there's no errors here, we will print that the network interface turned on. And here, that's it. So now let's run this program, and as you can see here, we are getting the operation is not permitted. Let's actually save it and run it on the here with sudo, and as you can see here, we changed our MAC address here. So now we first actually, let me run it again. Clear. So let's run the if config here. Actually, let's change the MAC address here to 55 21 47 29 and so on. So let it be here, and now we will enter the first. Let's print the if config here. If config, and as you can see, this is our MAC address. This is old MAC address. Actually, let me note that down here with Chrome. Okay, this is the new, this is the old MAC address, which is 00112245 and 24 and 67. That's it. So now here we will also a new MAC address, and we will see right now how the MAC address changes here. Let's clear again, config, and this is our, as you can see, this is the same MAC address. We didn't change it anything. So we will enter the sudo python 3 and main.py, and as you can see here, we changed our MAC address to 00. Actually, instead of writing this, and as you can see, we are notifying to the user that we change our MAC address, a new MAC address is this. And now let's check this out. And as you can see here, our new MAC address is 0055 21 47 29 47 29 and 67. That's it. And this is our new MAC address. So now that we have learned how to run commands on a system and how to change MAC address of a system using Python, we will stop our lecture here, and in next lecture we will look at the information gathering and different Linux hacking techniques here. So since we did this, that I will share this program with you, and you can modify, share, or if you have any problems, you can ask me directly here. So we will name it the MAC address changer. That's it. Super hacker program name. And I will share this program with you. So in this lecture, we learned the basics of networking and how we can protect ourselves on a local network by spoofing our MAC address for scanning purposes. And this lecture helped us to get a deeper insight into the networking aspects of the computer system, as well as how we can use Python to protect and mask our identity in a local network. So in next lectures, you will learn more about networking and Python hacking here. So I'm waiting you in next lecture.